I'm David Kerr, Professor of Cancer Medicine from University of Oxford. I'd like to talk today about a nice editorial in Lancet Oncology written by Grimes and O'Riordan from Trinity in Dublin, titled Quackery, Starving Cancer and Other Dangerous Dietary Misconceptions. And we'll talk a little about what these misconceptions are, but perhaps also think if there should be a rallying call for us, cancer physicians, cancer health professionals, to perhaps get more in the front foot about doing something to push these rather scientifically illiterate concepts away. Rather than just shrugging our shoulders, perhaps we should be thinking more about it. So what sort of misinformation is out there? So I don't have social media. I'm not on TikTok or TalkTik or any of those sort of bits and bobs at all. But these authors say that, for example, the idea that you can starve a cancer with therapeutic gain can appear on people with TikTok who talk about alkaline diets or a glucose, carbohydrate depleted diet, have 2 billion views. Now, I'm sure that my likeable wee video just now will have about 23.5 views or something. So you need to find a way to get us, the moderately sane mainstream, out there into the billions of views rather than the tens of views. So one of the common misconceptions, the most obvious one, is a Warburg effect. We know that Otto Warburg demonstrated that tumors depend more on aerobic glycolysis and metabolism of glucose, lactic acid being a side consequence of this, more of this later when we discuss alkaline diets. Most normal cells generate ATP by citric acid cycle, mitochondrial respiration. We know that the aerobic glycolysis is an inefficient way to generate ATP, the cells, gut souls and cells, source of energy. So Otto Warburg promulgated or proposed that the so-called Warburg effect was the driver, the initiator of cancer. We know now that it's a downstream consequence. This hasn't stopped thousands of cancer cookbooks been out there about how you can actually starve the cancer by avoiding carbohydrates. It's a complete and utter nonsense. Of course it is. All cells use glucose, all respire it. There's no particular affinity that tumor cells have for carbohydrates. They don't gravitate towards it, like the sort of pull of the gravitational pull of the earth. Just utter and complete nonsense. But within that, people are proposing ketogenic diets and all sorts of things. And it's what they're out to make a fast buck by and large. Other areas, microenvironmental acidity and alkaline diets, as we said. We know that because tumor cells have a propensity towards metabolizing glucose, they'll produce more lactic acid, and therefore in the tumor microenvironment, it will be more acidic. And again, this caused a lot of daft folk to propose that an alkaline diet would reverse the acidity associated with cancer and have some effect on the rate of growth, the metastatic potential of the cancer. Again, nonsense, complete and utter nonsense. My interest in diet goes way, way back to the 80s, when I was a wee tiny cancer doctor. Patient I'll never forget. There was a thing in that, the vogue when I was a kid was something called the Bristol diet in the UK, which was eating carrots. That's all people seemed to do. And the hypercarotenemia that was induced. Some people went orange. They were taking so much in the way of carrots that was supposed to have some effect against the cancer. Complete nonsense. But the thing about me, so we had a patient who'd been through a phase 1 clinic and he was dying. And all she wanted was to take her family out close to the end of life for a curry. And what a simple thing, but important to her, but she wouldn't do it because she felt guilty about breaking her carrot-solely diet, and therefore she denied herself that small but special pleasure because of the guilt associated. If I had one night off from the carrots to eat a curry, then that would blow the whole diet up, and therefore I would be guilty of betraying myself, my family, by not sticking to this utterly nonsensical, bogus diet. What it does seem as if, though, that in terms of getting the front food, there's some evidence to suggest, for example, that the Irish Nutrition and Dietetic Institute, according to the article, made an official complaint against the advertising of a ketogenic diet for patients with cancer, citing serious concerns, as they did, about already vulnerable cancer patients buying the book, commencing the diet at home, unsupervised. And perhaps we need to do more of that. I tend to take a laissez-faire approach. People come with homeopathic medicines, weird diets. I say if it empowers you, if it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, if you're not being cheated, if it doesn't interfere with conventional treatment, if it has no side effects, why not? But maybe that's too passive. Maybe we need to think about how, as a community of healthcare professionals, we seek out the charlatans and we challenge them and we chase them out of their TikTok caves, of their Twitter or X's, or wherever it is they promulgate their bogus products. I'd be really interested to see what you think. Do we need to be less passive and more evidence, science-based, about saying, hang on a minute, there's a potential for doing damage here? So a piece of quackery, something that all of us see in the clinic, every single one of us. So have a think about it. Let me know what you think. Grateful for any comments. Let's make this a billion person. Let's make this a billion person video so we get the message out there. As always, Medscapers, thanks for listening. Speak soon. Thank you.